started as Armistice Day on November 11, 1919, but Congress passed a resolution to make it a national holiday in 1938.
People all around the U.S. use this day to commemorate and honor any veteran who has served in any branch of military.
Hi, it's Tyler here, and I'm here with Mr. John Baker, and I'm going to ask him a few questions. So what branch of service were you in?
I was in the Air Force, entered it in 1943, graduated as a second lieutenant. They asked me what did I want to do, be a pilot or a bombardier or a navigator, and I said, well, I'm pretty smart in math, so I think I'd like to be a navigator. So they sent me to navigation school in Hondo, Texas. I graduated as a second lieutenant. Sent me to Pocatello, Idaho, where our crew was formed. We have 10 crew members on a B-24. They assigned us a B-24, which we flew from Pocatello, Idaho with 4 or 5 stops in between, to Africa. Stationed in Tunis, outside of Tunis, for about 6 weeks, and then to Bari, Italy. And while they were building our steel mat runway at Pantanella, we flew some training missions out of Bari, and then our squadron moved to Pantanella. There were 4 squadrons. Each squadron had 16 airplanes. So we took 64 airplanes to Italy, and we started our first missions out of Pantanella. I don't remember what our first target was, but on the 13th mission, the 29th of May 1944, we had a target of a ball bearing factory up near Vienna. The flak was extremely heavy, and our rudder cables were shut out, so the pilot could only control the plane with ailerons and with his rudder. Consequently, we couldn't stay with our 16 squadron group, and became a straggler. Down over Zagreb in Yugoslavia, 2 Me-109s came up and shot both engines out. The pilot orders to bail out. The navigator and the bombardier up in the nose of the B-24. The bombardier was in his nose turret, and when the bailout order came, he came out of the nose turret. We both had chest chutes, and we had to crawl back underneath the pilot's compartment to get to the bomb bay doors, which he had opened. And when I got there, I found our assistant engineer, our radio operator, sitting there waiting. I said, well, bail out. And he said, I can't. I said, why not? Because I ain't got no right arm. He had been shot through the arm, and with a chest chute, you had to pull it with your right arm. So I said, oh, all right. I grabbed a chute, which was lying behind me, snapped it on him, said, jump. He said, you jump and I'll hold your ripcord, which he did. Parachute opened, and he landed safely.
That's good.
I jumped. They warned us that we might be strafed by enemy aircraft, German aircraft. So I free fell about halfway to the ground. We were 13,000 feet. Then opened my chute, floated down, landed in a little pasture field, started to roll up my chute. And there were some folks over in a nearby field motioned for me to come over, which I did. They turned out to be Yugoslav partisans. And at dusk, they took me down to their house, put me up in an attic, and before long I heard horses coming down the road. Obviously Germans looking for us. And evidently the partisans said, well, we don't know anything. We haven't seen anything. So it became dark. Then they got me down out of the attic, took me down the road a little ways, and another house, there was my bombardier eating fried chicken. Anyway, we spent about 2 weeks in Yugoslavia in company of the partisans, and finally a C-47 came over one night, picked us all up, and took us back to Italy. Anyway, that's about 2.5 weeks in Yugoslavia.
I really appreciate this interview.
Oh, well, thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
I'm Dalton Lehman, and I'm here with Charles Ingram. So, Charles, what branch of the military did he serve in?
Army,
U.S. Army. What wars did he serve in?
Vietnam,
And what was your job in Vietnam?
combat infantry.
Thank you for your service.
Many veterans, through hard work and dedication, are badges of honor like the ones you see behind me. Hi, I'm here with Tom Bowser, and behind us I'm standing behind the USS Drum. Can you tell us some of your experience as a veteran?
Well, I was on nuclear submarines during the Cold War, 1964 to 1974. I was on a missile submarine and a fast attack submarine. The missile submarines carried the nuclear missiles to deter Russia from firing theirs. They didn't know where we were. They couldn't get to us, so they knew we would retaliate if they fired. We were pretty successful at that. Then I was on the fast attack, and our main purpose was to know where their submarines were, follow them around, and determine how they operated, where they went, and let them know that we were there. They couldn't do anything. It was pretty good duty. I made 8 trips north of the Arctic Circle on the Atlantic side. Kind of cold inside the boat, but it was excellent. Submarine duty is a strange branch. We're little known about us. We're called the silent service because we don't talk about it too much. But we had the best food, the best cooks. That was the best part of the duty, and the best people. It was really good. Now I'm here as a volunteer restoring the submarine to preserve this one. The USS Drum is the oldest U.S. submarine left in the world, and it did 13 patrols, sank 15 ships, damaged 12 others. So it's a very historic vessel that needs to be saved, and that's what I'm here for.
Thank you for this interview.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm here in the USS Alabama, and to my right here is what a Japanese soldier would look like in World War II, and on my left here is what a U.S. Marine would look like in World War II.
Hi, I'm Emma Clark here with my dad, Jeremy Clark. What branch of the military do you serve in?
Currently serving in the United States Coast Guard.
Why is that branch important?
They perform a lot of functions to the people of the United States: search and rescue, wildlife and fisheries management, drug interdiction, illegal immigrant interdiction, and environmental damage mitigation.
What do you do in the Coast Guard?
My job is avionics, electrical technician, so basically I work on helicopters and airplanes and operate and repair any electrical equipment on the aircraft.
What do you have to say to your veterans who have served before you?
Well, the guys that served before us have stood to watch when we were young and didn't know about such things, so they carried the load before we got it, and just to say thank you to them, and hopefully you guys will carry the load after we're gone.
Thank you for this interview.
You're welcome.
When sailors talk about the port, they mean the left side of the ship.
A deck is the floor of a ship. The USS Alabama has 12 decks for you to explore.
Hi, I'm here to tell you that an ironclad is actually an old ship that was armored with iron plates.
Hi, my name is Helena. This is the B-25J Mitchell, most heavily armed aircraft in World War II, 14 forward and firing .50 alone. A version of this aircraft was the first to attack the Japanese mainland 6 months after the attack of Pearl Harbor.
The B-25J Mitchell weighs 19,480 pounds with a maximum speed of 272.